Straight ahead on 12 News, it's not just an urban problem, it's a suburban one too. An increasing number of homeless youth. We'll look at what's being done to help. Then, a rally in Robbinsdale to bring back a Hy-Vee grocery store proposal. And later, a test for prostate cancer you may not be aware of. We head to Plymouth to learn more. 12 News starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Alexandra Renslow.
And I'm Mike Johnson. These are busy times for the Brooklyn Avenues facility that houses homeless youth.
They need to generate more money to keep up with the demand. Eric Nelson joins us now with more on that. Eric?
Yeah, Alex and Mike, it takes about $100,000 a year to keep Brooklyn Avenues afloat. The transitional housing shelter hopes to raise at least $15,000 with a benefit concert later this month. Brooklyn Avenues can house 11 kids and has one emergency bed. The facility has been full since opening almost 2 years ago, but does have a backup plan for overflow.
Overflow can be in various places. We have different partnering agencies that are doing the same thing in different cities, and we reach out to them. We have a close network that we work with by either text message, email, calling case managers, program managers throughout the city about opening spaces there.
There have already been some success stories from Brooklyn Avenues, which in addition to providing shelter, offers education support services. The goal of Brooklyn Avenues is not only to help kids survive, but ultimately thrive. They say their place doesn't fit the homeless stereotype.
We call this more emergency bed or transitional living placement or the transitional living place, because we want the youth to know that they have a home and not just a place where there's a mat on the floor.
The Brooklyn Avenues benefit concert is Saturday, October 22nd at 7 p.m. at the Brooklyn United Methodist Church in Brooklyn Center. The concert features noted Twin Cities gospel and jazz singer Robert Robinson. Now, most of the youth at Brooklyn Avenues stays for 18 months or until they turn 21. The program supports about 80 to 100 young people a year. Alex and Mike.
All right, Eric, thank you. Well, as the temperatures turn colder, everyone needs a good coat to keep warm, but each year there are those who go without.
So these are some new and gently used coats that have been donated this year.
There is an annual coat drive underway at all 25 Pilgrim Cleaners locations to collect coats for kids and adults this winter. When the company founder started the effort back in 1986, 40,000 coats were donated. This year they hope to collect 10,000 coats by Friday, but donations have been down and the need is still great.
I actually go out to the charities myself. I was just at Sharing and Caring Hands in Minneapolis, and we saw hundreds of people come through just in the morning that are looking for coats and blankets and things that they need to survive this winter.
All the coats are cleaned before they're given to kids and adults, and you can drop off coats through Friday. There's also an effort to collect Halloween costumes for kids through October 25th.
A Maple Grove man is accused of trying to kill his girlfriend with a shotgun. According to the criminal complaint, 52-year-old Mitchell Antill admitted to trying to kill his girlfriend last Wednesday night, saying, quote, he knew what he was doing. Neighbors reported hearing the shots inside a home in the 9100 block of Comstock Lane North. When police arrived, they found the girlfriend with 2 gunshot wounds, one to her head, another to her arm. Police say the woman's injuries were serious but not life-threatening.
In Robbinsdale, there is a new effort underway to encourage Hy-Vee to reconsider and open a grocery store in the city. You might remember Hy-Vee backed away from building a store at the site of the Terrace Theater while efforts were underway to save the theater. Now, less than 2 weeks after the theater was demolished, some Robbinsdale residents are holding an organizational meeting tonight, that's Tuesday evening, to let Hy-Vee know that they are wanted by the community.
We really do hope that this tremendous showing of community support will convince Hy-Vee that Robbinsdale is absolutely a great town for them to build in. It's worth investing in. They will have so much support. We will be thrilled to have them, and we do hope they come back to the table.
The Robbinsdale residents for a Hy-Vee meeting will be held tonight, Tuesday evening, starting at 5 o'clock at Nona Rosa's restaurant.
The Northwest Islamic Community Center in Plymouth is collecting donations for Syrian refugees. There are 6 million refugees who have left for nearby border countries and another 6 million who are displaced in Syria. With the cold winter on the horizon, there is a huge need for blankets, gloves, and caps. So far, the Northwest Metro has stepped up and donated plenty of warm weather gear.
That says a lot about the generosity of the people of Minnesota and Plymouth area specifically. But yeah, we are overwhelmed. As I said, we didn't expect that much. We are getting much more than what we expected. But that's not the first time the people of Minnesota show their generosity.
The Northwest Islamic Community Center will be accepting donations through Sunday.
She has been called the backbone of the Brooklyn Center Recreation Department. Sue LaCrosse has worked for the city for almost 40 years, but now she's retiring. LaCrosse was very involved with all the youth programs at the community center. She also played a big role in coordinating the Earl Brown Days parade. City officials say LaCrosse will be greatly missed.
Took her work very seriously and was very outgoing, very amenable, and very willing to bring out the positives in Brooklyn Center.
The City Council recently passed a resolution recognizing LaCrosse for all her hard work and dedication. Coming up, a test for prostate cancer that's now available at a Plymouth clinic. That's next in Health Check.
And later in sports, the Park Center boys soccer team aims for a return trip to the state tournament.
But first, showers Wednesday morning, then clearing and cooler. We'll be right back. On Thursday night, it is Women's Health Night Out. The City of Plymouth and Abbott Northwestern West Health have teamed up to focus on breast cancer, covering topics such as prevention and myths about breast cancer. The cost to attend is $10 per person. It takes place on Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Plymouth Creek Center. A blood test can tell a lot about a person's overall health.
Yeah, people get blood tests to check everything from their cholesterol to whether they have a disease. And as Delane Cleveland reports in today's Health Check, actor Ben Stiller credits a specific blood test for saving his life.
Comfort and long, pointy needles generally don't go hand in hand.
Elbow straight and make a fist for me.
But a little uneasiness is a small price to pay when peace of mind is at stake.
We do a wide variety of stuff that makes it pretty convenient for people.
Alex Lamkin owns Any Lab Test Now in Plymouth. It's a national franchise where people can get a variety of tests done.
People can come in and get blood work done, cholesterol screens, PSA screens, all the way to drug screens for workplace, to DNA testing for without a doctor's order, without an appointment, without insurance.
If it sounds convenient, that's because it is. But according to Lamkin, Americans as a whole aren't clamoring to find out what mysteries are contained in their bodily fluids.
There are so many people that said, if I would have been tested 10 years ago, we might have been able to stop some of, cholesterol, specifically some of the heart health diseases that have been going on. So yeah, we definitely are not tested as much as we should be.
You got tested early.
He's hoping that a little star power from Hollywood will change that for one specific test.
Prostate cancer.
Actor Ben Stiller revealed last week that thanks to the PSA test, he was diagnosed with prostate cancer at age 48.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about it because of the test, because I feel like the test saved my life.
The PSA test is one of the options offered to people at Any Lab Test Now.
PSA stands for prostate-specific antigen. What the test looks for, it looks for proteins that your body is producing from your prostate. Elevated levels can show that you are an increased risk for prostate cancer.
However, experts say the test doesn't always provide accurate results. The best advice is to consult with a doctor first to weigh the pros and cons. But if you were to get the test done here, it would cost you $49.
We can get in and out in 5 minutes and have the results within a couple days.
In Plymouth, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
Professional organizations vary in their recommendations about who should get a PSA test. Experts generally encourage the test for men between the ages of 40 and 70 and in those with an increased risk of prostate cancer, such as African American men and people with a family history. Well, coming up, a side of Plymouth you may not have seen yet.
But first, it's a close battle as Wayzata takes on Delano for a section title in girls tennis. John Jacobson has that and much more coming up next in sports.
This is a good tennis challenge, a good Wayzata team, and apparently an even better Delano team.
A little bit better. The second time they had met this season with the state tournament berth on the line. Wayzata and top seed Delano weren't challenged a lot in the early rounds of the Section 5AA girls tennis tournament. The top two seeds met up for the section title at the University of Minnesota. Sam Stevenson serves for Wayzata in the #1 singles match and follows with a strong forehand winner as she goes up early. But the tide turns. Ginger Valentine rallies, winning the point. She takes the first set and goes on to win the match for the Tigers 6-4, 6-1. Second singles, and Ava Marco in the far court for Wayzata against Katie Schlief. Marco keeps returning until an error by Schlief, and Marco goes on to win in 3 sets. Emily Reisman serving for the Trojans in the third singles match. She'll deliver a nice forehand down the line on the way to a hard-fought 3-set win over Kitty Bonine. To #1 doubles play, Wayzata's Sydney Stern and Grace Jacobson in the far court against Jackie Damberg and Alyssa Troutman. Jacobson with an overhead, but the Wayzata duo falls in this match in straight sets. In the second doubles match, Wayzata's Sylvia Rivor and Isabella Binger in the near court. They'll take this point, but it's Natalie Pupp and Brandy Slipen winning the match. Delano edges Wayzata 4-3 for the section title. In Section 6AA earlier today, Edina beat Benilde St. Margaret 7-0 in one semifinal, while Hopkins beat Eastview 5-2 in the other semi. And then this afternoon in the section final, the Hornets beat the Royals 7-0, winning all 7 matches in straight sets. Edina is seeking its 20th consecutive state Class AA title. The section soccer playoffs get started this week. Park Center's boys team is looking for a return trip to the state tournament. The Pirates are the #1 seed for the Section 5AA tournament. They won the Northwest Suburban Conference title and carry a 13-2-1 record into the postseason. Being the top seed doesn't guarantee anything, but there is one advantage that comes with it.
Playoff start, section start, everyone's 0-0. Makes no difference. The thing about being #1 seed, though, is you are at home, so you are a little bit more comfortable that way.
It matters a lot because it's a big effect to winning sections. It's a great advantage having home advantage, having the crowd out here.
Mountains View in the Section 5.
Many of the Park Center guys were on the team that qualified for the state tournament last season. There's always a fine line. You need to get extra hype for the playoffs or just play the same game you've played all season.
The key thing is to do our job. That's it. That's what Coach tells us every single day. Do our job, do our job.
I feel like it's more in the work ethic we have to put out on the field. Instead of we have the soccer skills, we just have to show we can work hard. If we work hard, we can beat any team, I think.
Park Center hosts the winner of a first-round game between Osseo and Mounds View Saturday at 3 o'clock in the section quarterfinals. Following their championship Saturday at the St. Michael Albertville tournament, the Hopkins volleyball team has moved up to #3 in the Class 3A state rankings. On this week's Sports Jam show on Channel 12, we meet Royal senior Jasmyn Martin. It's a big reason why Hopkins is riding a 15-match win streak. Here's a clip from that story.
Jasmyn missed most of her junior season with a strained left quad muscle. Staying healthy all of this year makes a big difference in her game.
It helps so much. It was obviously not fun sitting out. I had to sit out the majority of the season and only got to play a few games before section started. So I think being able to play with the team and getting on the court and just doing my thing helps a lot going into the sections.
Off-season work in club volleyball helped bring Jasmyn's game to a new level. She played for the Minnesota Select 18-1s, a team that included Champlin Park, Sydney Hilly, and Osceo's Tina Bowe, and won USA Nationals.
There are so many good athletes on that team. Everyone was, I think, Division I or Division II, and that's amazing that everyone on my team is able to go to college for free for a sport they love. It was really cool getting to compete every day and practice against such good girls, and I think that's part of the reason I've grown so much from last year to this year.
Watch the Jazz Martin story and more this week on Sports Jam. It's on through Wednesday at 3:30, 6:30, and 9:30 p.m. on Channel 12 and our HD channel 799 or anytime at 12.tv. Healthy and certainly having a great season for the Royals.
All right. Thanks a lot, John. Now to Local Vote 2016, where we are focusing on Crystal City Council positions this week.
There will be at least one new council member since incumbent Laura Libby chose not to run again. Therese Kiser and Nancy LaRoche are making their first political runs for elected office. LaRoche serves on city committees and has worked on the campaigns of other candidates. Kiser worked for passage of local school referendums.
Hi, I'm Nancy LaRoche, and if you live in the southern half of Crystal, I'm asking for your vote for Crystal City Council in the November election. My husband Walt and I have lived in the Valley Place neighborhood for over 19 years, and I've been an active volunteer in our community for a long time. I serve on Crystal's Park and Rec Advisory Commission, the Charter Commission, and on the Crystal Frolics Committee. I was encouraged by neighbors to run for this open seat, and I'm here to represent you, my neighbors, not any political party. We all benefit when all members of our community are encouraged to engage and participate in building our city's future. The next chapter for Crystal is critical for building positive growth. It would be an honor to represent you here in Crystal, and to find out more about me, please visit nancyforcrystal.com. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Therese Kiser, and I'm running for Crystal City Council Section 1. Crystal has been my home for 23 years. My husband and I have raised our children in Crystal. It's a great place to live. When I thought about running, I looked closer at the city's policies. What stood out was a lack of vision or a strategic plan. What is being done now to ensure that Crystal is a great place 20 or 30 years from now? We need to put a plan in place, including careful monitoring of resources and finances, careful spending while maintaining enough in reserves for emergencies. Crystal's a great community. We have wonderful parks and green spaces, unique businesses, and lovely people. Let's work together, moving Crystal forward. I'm Therese Kiser, and I ask for your vote on November 8th. Thank you.
Wednesday on 12 News, we will hear from the two Crystal candidates running to represent Ward 3. Well, still ahead, views of Plymouth that you could say are picture perfect.
We will be right back.
Well, finally, picture this, a city with a lot of photos to celebrate.
Plymouth recently held its annual photo contest, and here are the winners. They include this one by Rachel Hall called Reflecting Freedom. Here's another winner called Arbor Doggy by Rachel LaFleur. This photo won the pets category. And in the people and families category, this photo titled Tunnel Tumblin' was the winner by David Dobrin, and we recognize that name. He happens to work here at Channel 12. And last but not least, the Reader's Choice winner titled Portal Sunset on Medicine Lake by Ann Hardy. You can see all the winning photos on Plymouth Magazine's Facebook page. Those are always fun to see. Some gorgeous shots.
That's a great
shot
of
it
the
is.
sunset.
Hard to pick winners, I bet.
Yeah, I bet it would be.
That does it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
And we will see you back here again Wednesday, starting at 4.